We're going to play an interactive guessing game.
What game?
So here are the rules for our game.
Just listen carefully and follow my instructions.
You're going to hear 5 short stories. I want you to listen closely to the situation, really put yourself in the speaker's shoes to understand exactly how they feel, and then try to guess the most natural English phrase for that specific moment.
Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Situation number 1, the surprise presentation, an unexpected office request.
It's just that I hate surprises.
So imagine you're sitting at your desk at work. You're answering emails, just finishing up a report. Then your manager suddenly walks over and says, "Can you present your project to the entire team right now?"
What now?
Now, you knew you'd have to present the project eventually, but you thought the presentation was next week. You have absolutely no slides ready, and you haven't prepared what you're going to say.
I'm sorry, but there's no way I can do that.
Your manager notices you look surprised and asks, "Is everything okay?" You want to explain that this request surprised you because you just weren't ready for it. What would this person say in this situation?
Well, you caught me off guard. You caught me off guard, all right?
You caught me off guard and I panicked.
Now, what's really great about this idiom is how perfectly it describes that feeling of shock. When something catches you off guard, it simply surprises you when you're not prepared. You know, you could tell your manager, "Sorry, you caught me off guard. I thought the presentation was next week." You can also use this phrase when someone asks an unexpected question or tells you some really surprising news.
Moving on to situation 2, the forgotten phone call, a broken promise to a friend.
Picture this. Your friend asks you to call them on Friday because they need your advice about a really important decision. You say,
"Why, of course I will."
Well, Friday arrives. You finish work, go home, eat dinner, watch a movie, and completely forget. Then, on Saturday morning, you see a text message from your friend saying, "Were you going to call me yesterday?" Suddenly, you remember your promise.
Shit.
You didn't ignore your friend on purpose. You just completely forgot. So what would this person say in this situation?
Slipped my mind.
Honestly, it just slipped my mind.
Must have slipped my mind.
So the key thing here is that when something slips your mind, you just forget about it. This phrase actually sounds a lot softer and much more natural than simply saying,
I forgot.
By saying, "I'm so sorry, it completely slipped my mind," it really shows it was just an honest mistake.
Situation 3, the unsent document, taking responsibility at work.
Imagine you're working on a big project with 3 other people. Your specific job is to send the final document to the client before 5 p.m. Everyone finishes their work and you get the document, but then you get distracted and completely forget to send it. The next morning, your coworker asks, "Hey, why didn't the client receive the document?" You know that it was your responsibility, and you don't want to make excuses or blame anyone else. What would this person say in this situation?
That's on me, I hate to say.
Yeah, that's on me.
I know things haven't been smooth between us, and that's on me.
This brilliantly illustrates how we take ownership of a problem in everyday English. Literally just means, I am responsible for this mistake. It's direct, it's honest, and it's extremely common in both work and social situations. You could easily say to your coworker, "That's on me. I received the document, but I forgot to send it." Or in a social situation, you might say, "Oh, I gave you the wrong address. That's on me."
Here's situation 4, the ruined picnic plan. A sudden storm ruins the day. Okay, imagine you carefully plan a picnic with your friends. You buy the food, prepare sandwiches, and drive for a whole hour to get to this beautiful park. But right when you arrive, it starts to rain.
God damn it!
At first, you all decide to wait in the car. But then, the rain gets even heavier.
It's raining.
A park employee comes over and tells you that the park is actually closing because of the storm. You look at the prepared food, the pouring rain, and your disappointed friends. All that planning was for absolutely nothing. What would this person say in this situation? So much for the picnic.
So much for the perfect family, huh?
So much for the big gender reveal.
Well, so much for the lunch.
We use the phrase "so much for" when a plan, a hope, or an expectation has completely failed. In this case, you could also say, "so much for a perfect day." For another example, imagine you decide to start eating really healthy, but then a friend brings a large, delicious pizza to your house. You might look at that pizza and say, "Well, So much for my diet.
I mean, I could lose some weight.
And we've made it to our final scenario, Situation 5, the uncertain weekend, navigating unknown plans.
Imagine a friend asks you, "So, what should we do this weekend?" Now, you really want to go hiking, but the weather forecast says it might rain. On top of that, another friend might be visiting, but they haven't confirmed yet. There are simply too many uncertain things happening right now.
Too many moving parts.
So you don't want to make a fixed plan. You'd rather just wait and decide later, based on what actually happens. What would this person say in this situation?
Let's play it by ear, see what happens.
Let's play it by ear or something.
Let's play it by ear in case you're tired.
To play something by ear means to avoid making a fixed plan, and instead, just decide what to do as the situation develops. You could tell your friend, the weather might change, so let's play it by ear. It's an incredibly useful phrase for everyday life. For example, if someone asks you, what time should we leave tomorrow? You can naturally answer, I'm not really sure yet. Let's play it by ear. All right, let's do a really quick review of the 5 natural phrases we learned in this explainer today. You caught me off guard, which you use when something completely surprises you and you're not prepared. It slipped my mind, for when you simply forgot something. That's on me, which you say when you're taking responsibility for a mistake. So much for that, to use when a plan or expectation totally fails. And finally, let's play it by ear, which is perfect when you want to decide later instead of making a strict plan.
So, how many phrases did you manage to guess correctly today? Go ahead and tally up your score. But hey, even if you didn't guess them all, you've just added 5 incredibly natural everyday expressions to your English toolkit.
Really good job.
Keep practicing these phrases in your daily conversations. And before we go, I want you to ask yourself, what is a situation that recently caught you off guard? Until next time.
Well, adios.